For the newly launched Melanau Heritage Gallery and a waterfront with a total cost at 42 million ringgit. The gallery is expected to be developed right next to the existing building.
Saya sangat berbangga dengan collection yang ada dan artifak yang ada yang menggambarkan kekayaan budaya yang ada di Sarawak ini. Lebih-lebih lagi masyarakat Melanau. Hari itu tambah lagi not saya. Timah minta lagi satu bangunan untuk menyimpankan khazanah muzik dan juga budaya masyarakat Melanau. Di sebelah galeri yang ada, baru buka. Ketek kejap, dah sikit nombor 2 keluar.
He said so when launching the Melanau Heritage Gallery in Dalat. At the same time, few other requests from Dalat Assemblywoman Dato Sri Fatimah Abdullah were also approved, such as a commercial centre, a waterfront, an extension to the newly launched gallery, Dalat Boutique Hotel, and a mini stage complex. Adding to that, he said that the projects were approved considering the long-term benefit they will bring to Oya and the whole of MOTORHOME division in the tourism sector and the spin-offs on the local economy, including the service sector.
Kerana kita nak bangun jalan dekat Sungai Kut. Kita bangunkan jalannya akan terus ke Coastal Road. Kita dah mula jambatan Batang Igan. Dan kita akan mula jalan dari Igan sampai ke Sibo. Dekat Bawang Asan. Kita buat. Jadi jalan tu sudah tentu akan menghubung melalui Kut ke kawasan tu.
The Melanau Heritage Gallery was small but had two main parts, namely Gallery 1 and Gallery 2. Gallery 1 will exhibit artifacts related to the culture and heritage of the Melanau, Dalat, and Oya communities, as well as the early history of the settlement in Oya. These artifacts are a collection of heritage donated by residents of Dalat and Oya. Meanwhile, Gallery 2 will showcase the local community's economy related to agriculture, fisheries, and new economic activities, especially those involving young people. It will be open to the public beginning next June, and the Melanau Oya Welfare Trust Board has been the main agency responsible for the gallery since its early establishment. Meanwhile, the State Assembly meeting has previously approved and enacted laws regarding the establishment of the SAGO and NIPAH Development Board for the first time in the state. Therefore, Abang Johari wants the establishment of the board to conduct a detailed study on the development and economic activities in the downstream sector involving the SAGO and NIPAH industries. The establishment of the board was also in line with the fact that Sarawak has such a vast natural area on the coast. As such, a Centre for SAGO and NIPAH Development Board worth 30 million ringgit will be developed in Dalat to lead the research.
Saya ada maklumat sidak sains yang mengatakan bahawa carbon storage di kawasan mangrove yang sebenarnya kawasan mangrove mempunyai 3 kali ganda storage daripada pokok-pokok yang ada. Ini satu pembaharuan sains. Sebab itu saya nampak bahawa tepat apabila kita menubuhkan SAGO and NIPAH Development Board. Dan Oya Dalat adalah pusat kajian untuk industri yang baru ini. Ini tu pun kita ada Kementerian Tenaga dan Kelestarian Alam Sekitar. Dan ini adalah satu daripada kegiatan ekonomi yang akan memberi pulangan kepada pertumbuhan ekonomi luar bandar.
The coastal settlement of Belawai in central Sarawak has the potential to be developed as a tourist location that can compete with other popular destinations such as Hawaii. Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said, with its beautiful natural beaches, the state government was ready to provide infrastructure for the development of projects such as waterfront parks and other tourist facilities to attract visitors to the area.
Selain di waterfront, kita boleh pola sikit motorhome park. Motorhome park tempat sidaknya parking motorhome serta dengan tempatnya nyambung karan dengan air. Jadi kita pola situ. Tak naga kedat negeri orang putih dah Belawai tu. Ha? Ha. Len dah pandai gila len tu. Belawai jadi Hawaii.
Speaking at a Hari Raya Ideal Fitri gathering in Belawai today, he said the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry, through its Minister Dato Sri Nancy Shukri, plans to promote motorhome tourism.
Dan ini akan menjadi tarikan untuk trafik daripada Kuching hingga ke Miri menerusi Coastal Road. Dan mereka boleh tinggal di sini semalam sebelum mereka meneruskan perjalanan mereka, especially for turis. Waktu cuti sekolah, orang nak keluarga pergi berkelah.
A journalist investigates, collects, and presents credible information, often putting himself or herself at the front line of any current affairs to provide reliable and accurate information to the public. As citizens are exposed to an increasing amount of data, they have a larger need for suppliers of information that are devoted to finding, verifying, and clarifying news. Thus, journalists deserve proper recognition and appreciation for their dedicated services, especially in conveying credible information to the public.
According to Transport Minister Dato Sri Lee Kim Shin, media practitioners played a crucial role during the pandemic, as the public relied on them to get updates on current affairs.
Mereka tak pupuk tanpa mengira masa setia terhadap profesi supaya masyarakat menikmati maklumat tepat berbagai topik liputan membuktikan keprihatinan media terhadap kehendak dan tuntutan minat rakyat.
Lee added that the community can always expect to get the latest updates on current affairs from the print media sources or even electronic media sources, all thanks to devoted journalists.
In the digital era, the way information is produced and received has changed, but the professionalism and credibility of journalists remain indispensable till this day. People nowadays want to get frontline information, and social media provide this platform that creates many journalists everywhere, posting anything every minute. However, lamented that not only a handful of these so-called journalists do not check for authenticity of the information they receive, and thus generated a lot of fake news.
Lee said this at the National Journalist Day Appreciation Dinner 2022, or Hawana 2022, in Miri.
The government of Sarawak has approved the road upgrading project of an 8.2-kilometre road, which will connect residents along the Tanjong Manis and Sibu Main Road. Roads are important to provide connectivity between the urban and rural communities, which will further propel the development agenda to benefit both the state and the surrounding community.
Daro Assemblyman Safi Ahmad said the implementation of the road upgrading project will involve residents from 2 villages and 5 longhouses.
Pelaksanaan sebenarnya telah bermula pada awal tahun 2020, tapi sebabkan pada tahun 2021 negara kita secara keseluruhannya termasuk di Sarawak, kita masih lagi berdepan dengan wabak COVID-19 dan pelaksanaan PKP sepanjang tahun termasuk di awal tahun 2021 telah menyebabkan pelaksanaan projek ini agak tergendala sedikit, dan saya merasa gembira sebab semalam dalam ucapan penggulungan Yang Berhormat Menteri Pembangunan Pembangunan Infrastruktur dan juga Pembangunan Pelabuhan Sarawak telah menjelaskan bahawa pelaksanaan projek ini telah pun bermula semula selepas ianya tertangguh disebabkan pelaksanaan PKP sebelum ini.
Safi'i said this when representing Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan at the land compensation check presentation ceremony for the road upgrading project along Bawang Asan, Tanjung Manis, Sungai Ilas and Kampung Sebenar Phase 2 in Meradong, Serike. The compensation was given to 49 recipients, involving an amount worth RM330,873.30.
Dengan adanya majlis yang kita ada pada hari ini, insyaAllah kita dapat menyelesaikan isu-isu di lapangan kerana sebelum ini mungkin ada di kalangan mereka merasakan bahawa mereka tidak menerima pempasan. Sebenarnya semua yang layak, kerajaan akan bayar mereka pempasan yang sewajarnya.
He added that the new roads will definitely drive development in the surrounding areas. With the addition of these facilities, the village areas and nearby longhouses will experience better connectivity in addition to easing the government's effort in distributing the necessary development.
A former United States Assistant Attorney General once said, "Family is the building block for whatever solidarity there is in society. Therefore, it is important for a family to unite together, despite their differences, as they are considered as one of the most important units of society."
Many times, children will mirror the actions of their parents. One way or another, a family impacts a child's life. Therefore, as social media is booming and acting as parents to many children, it is important for a family to educate them on what to take precaution of, especially drugs. An anti-drug hero educational and game program is happening at the exhibition hall in La Promenade Mall from May 27 Friday until May 29 Sunday, aiming to advocate to the public on drug awareness. Kuching MP Dr. Kelvin Yee, who launched the event, said that the core factor to such high cases of drug abuse in Sarawak is due to the lack of strength in the family unit.
Is addressing the core issue, which is empowering every individual itself, and this is something very close to us, strengthening the family unit. Because families are the foundation of every country.
Yee mentioned that according to statistics in Iceland, the number of 15 and 16 years old who took drugs was 42% in 1998. However, that dropped to only 5% in 2016, making Iceland topping the European table for the cleanest living teens.
Today, Iceland tops European table for the cleanest living kids, young people. The percentage of 15 and 16-year-olds who have been drunk in previous months and all plummeted from at one time 42% in 1998 to only 5% in 2000. So what did they do? They changed laws. What laws did they change? It became illegal to buy tobacco under the age of 18 and alcohol under the age of 20. Tobacco and alcohol advertising was banned. And this is very important. Links between parents and schools were strengthened.
Adding to that, families need to establish a holistically safe environment for their children, allowing them to enhance their decision-making ability while providing active social support.
We need to create circumstances in which kids can lead a healthy life and they do not need to use substance because life is fun and they have other plenty things to do. And they are supported by their parents who is willing to spend time with them. That for me is the most important. That for me, as simple as it sounds, may be the hardest to do for a better future. And if one family can make a difference, imagine 2, 3, 4, 5 families. As I said, we need to provide an alternative to.
Meanwhile, this event is organized by the Kuching Body Counseling Center in collaboration with Learning Hub Hope Place. With that said, the public is truly encouraged to come together as a family to the anti-drugs educational program to not only learn the importance and awareness of drugs, but to spend quality family time as well. My name is Moika Shimizu for TVS.
Now, websites and digital services under the Sarawak government, including the SPay application, were interrupted following a fire at the Wisma Bapa Malaysia server room on Thursday evening, May 26. Thanks to a team from Sarawak Information Systems Sendirian Berhad, who worked all night to restore the system. It is now back online. The Fire and Rescue Department said in a statement on the night of the incident that a switch box in the Wisma Bapa Malaysia server room, which is on the third floor of the building, caught fire at about 7 p.m. For records, the Economic Planning Unit EPU Sarawak is responsible for the budget, policies and business model, while Sikanet Sendirian Berhad, which is a 100% subsidiary company of Science, conducts the day-to-day operations of SPay. Meanwhile, the management had expressed their deepest appreciation for the patience and support of SPay users. For further assistance, the public may contact their customer service or send them an email. Coming up right after the break, National Health Screening Initiative to launch in July. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, the Ministry of Health MOH will launch a National Health Screening Initiative in July to detect cases of non-communicable diseases NCD in the country. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said the MOH is targeting a free health screening for 1.5 million people aged 40 years and above who have never undergone a health screening before. According to Khairi, MOH needs to prioritize on many medical and surgical procedures that have been delayed over the last 2 years, one of them being health examinations, adding that the number of health screenings over the last 2 years has decreased. Speaking at the 75th session of the Roundtable Strategic Assembly on Behavioral Sciences for Better Health, World Health Assembly WHA in Geneva, Switzerland on Friday, Khairi said, according to the National Survey of Health and Morbidity, 1 in 5 adults or 3.9 million people aged 18 years and over in Malaysia have diabetes. Meanwhile, 3 in 10 or 6.4 million people have high blood pressure and 4 in 10 people or 8 million people have high cholesterol. Khairi stated that MOH is considering expanding the use of the MySejahtera application for NCD, including setting an appointment date for health examinations.
So the best form of risk communication that can lead to behavioral change is something that is easily actionable and accessible. And I'll give you an example. We had vaccine information given out through our Everyone Has a COVID app in your country, but with a booking link. We translated the vaccination information to 14 different languages. We didn't assume the national language was enough because we know this is very personal if you don't get into dialect.
Kyrie, who is also the 75th Vice President of WHA, further stated that behavioral sciences is now the first line of defense in the Malaysian health system, as it plays a huge role in overcoming the pandemic. In this connection, Kyrie said investment in behavior units is important for every ministry, organization, or government to collect data, and MOH has established a new unit focusing on labor testing studies. He also shared about Malaysia's experience and success in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and how behavioral science supports the national response to the outbreak, while explaining that three main focuses have an impact on behavioral science. That is, having clear and convincing communication, issuing implementable instructions, and forming encouragement.
It ought to be 1.5 years of telling them to mask up, isolate, wash their hands, physical distancing, so it was difficult. Now, alhamdulillah, we have 98% of our adult population fully vaccinated, 70% of the adult population boosted.
WHA, the principal administrative body of the World Health Organization WHO, is an annual event bringing together the Minister of Health, Director General of Health, and experts in the field from around the world to reach a consensus on the implementation of policies, WHO programs, directions, commitments, and new strategies related to healthcare. Now, Japanese businessmen and investors are still confident in Malaysia as an investment hub and destination. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said during his official working visit, he had held an engagement and friendly session with almost 30 leading Japanese companies where they expressed their desire to explore trade opportunities and increase investment in Malaysia. According to him, there is a Japanese company that is interested and has identified a location to start operations in Malaysia to produce contact lenses for the regional market, and another company which is interested in producing batteries for electric cars. The Prime Minister added that this is a great potential to create employment opportunities for Keluarga Malaysia. He said that based on his interactions with Japanese investors, as well as investors met on his previous visits to Qatar and the United States, they had responded that Malaysia was still a preferred investment destination due to political stability. In another development, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said Datuk Zuraida Kamaruddin was still the Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister, and she would carry out her duties as usual until he made a decision on the matter. He added that Zuraida can still attend the cabinet meeting and her position would be decided later.
Dia tidak letak jawatan sebagai Menteri Kabinet dan saya pun tak pecat dia sebagai Menteri Kabinet, jadi dia masih lagi Menteri Kabinet sehingga mesyuarat Rabu ni, sehingga dia berjumpa saya, dan walaupun dia berjumpa saya tak tahu buat keputusan atau tidak, maknanya sehingga saya memutuskan untuk dia berhenti sebagai menteri dan saya lantik menteri yang lain. Kalau saya lantik menteri yang lain, jadi kita tak tahu lagi apa sebenarnya. Jadi sebelum itu teruskan seperti biasa.
Adding further, Ismail Sabri said he only found out about the matter through media coverage and Zuraida had not contacted him until now. On May 26, during Ismail Sabri's official working visit to Japan, Malaysian media reported that Zuraida announced her decision to resign as the Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister to join Parti Bangsa Malaysia. Zuraida was also reported to have said that she would continue to support the present government led by Ismail Sabri. The Prime Minister said he respected the views on the matter, but the final decision on Zuraida's position still rested in his hands.
Semua orang mempunyai pandangan yang berbeza-beza di soal ini. Tapi keputusan terakhirnya adalah kepada Perdana Menteri lah. Jadi oleh kerana masih terlalu awal untuk saya buat keputusan, kerana belum ada perjumpaan, belum ada berbincang dan sebagainya, saya tak komen lah.
Ismail Sabri also said that any changes in the cabinet lineup should be presented to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. On whether his cabinet was still intact, Ismail Sabri said there is no issue at all. Quoting the Prime Minister, he said, outsiders might think that today's cabinet is chaotic because it is made up of representatives of various parties, but the current cabinet members will leave all their political differences when making decisions in the interests of the country. Now on to some sports updates. Liverpool and Real Madrid fans gathered in Paris for the UEFA Champions League final were confident that their respective teams would be pulling out the stops to win the famous Silver Cup on Saturday, May 28. Some gathered on Paris City Hall Square to snap photos with the Champions League trophy, while others take a shot at a makeshift goal that had been set up.
We've got obviously great players, but I think they should fear us more than we fear them this time, 100%. We're here for payback.
Yes. Every team is beatable, so
yeah. We're proving that, and we've got some great players. And we need to respect Real Madrid, but we also need to make them be scared of us.
Real Madrid fan Pablo, who came from Spain's capital for the match, said while Liverpool were a good team, Madrid would still beat them, because they always do.
El partido es una final y como final es muy complicado. El Liverpool tiene un gran equipo, pero nosotros confiamos que el Madrid en las finales solo las gana, no las juega, las gana.
Real are in their 5th Champions League final in 9 years, led by Italian Carlo Ancelotti, the first coach to win the European Cup 3 times with 2 different clubs, and on the verge of leapfrogging Bob Paisley and Zinedine Zidane to become the first to win it 4 times.
And that is all for TVS Nightline. Stay up to date with the top stories via our website at TVSTVMY and follow our social media platforms for the latest news and entertainment. Once again, I'm Handy Gui. Stay safe and have a pleasant evening.